Hi there, thank you for coming to my channel, Shave in Solitude. Today's video is going to be a review of a very well-known razor. It is the Merkur 34C, or in this case, what I have is the 34G, which is the gold colored one. So the Merkur 34C actually has been there in production from 1931. So this design has been there for a really, really long time and it has stood the test of time. There are a lot of people who use this as the first razor. It's priced quite well. So the chrome version is $45 and this gold color version is 65. I used to own the 34C, but somehow, at that point of time, I was still learning how to wet shave properly. And somehow it did not fit my needs. But as I spend more time wet shaving, honing my technique, figuring out, what do I need to make the razor do in order to meet my needs, I thought, let me revisit this. And now this has become one of my favorite razors. What I primarily use this for is, let's say I've had a rough shave and I prefer to shave daily. Next day, I will shave with something like this because it's extremely mild to the skin. So it still gives me the chance to shave, be clean shaven on a daily basis, and at the same point of time, is not rough on my face. So we're going to lather up. We are going to get ready for the shave. For the purpose of the shave today, I thought we'll do something a little different. So let us do a complete Proraso shave. So this is their pre-shave. This is their shaving cream. And then after the shave, we are going to finish off with a balm. So let me wet my face and we'll get started. So I'm working with around 1.5 days of growth. Let's start with the pre-shave. Now, typically, what I have seen is the latest soaps that we generally have, all the nice ones, they are made so well that I end up not needing to use a pre-shave. Again, that's for me. It might help you, so I'm not saying don't use it, but I'm saying for me, generally, what I've noticed is given how luxurious these days these shave soaps are, all the different uh, things like shea butter and tallow and lanolin and all of that, I've seen that it generally does not require me to use a pre-shave, and I get a pretty good shave without using a pre-shave and just using directly the soap or the cream. The other thing that, you know, comment down below and tell me what is it that you think, is when you're going to lather directly on the face, right? Many of us, what we do is we'll either lather in the bowl and then directly apply it, dab it or put it nicely on the face. At that point of time, if you've got pre-shave, probably that makes sense because you're not taking the pre-shave off. But if you're going to face lather, or if you do what I do, so I never load in the tub. Now, the reason for that for me is quite simple. Um, these shave soaps that we have, they're not very cheap. I'm not saying that they cost too much, but obviously, I mean, a decent shave soap. Mostly you would say it costs around $20 to $25 for probably a 4 ounce jar. And what I've noticed, and I saw this with one of my soaps that I tried to tub load, even though my brush was fairly dry, obviously it was slightly wet, and I tried not to, bloom the soap or put too much of stuff in it. Even though I took out just a little bit of the soap from it, some water from the brush still went inside the soap, and I could see it clearly on the sides because it was one of those clear jars. And I don't know about you guys, but if I have just say one or two shaving cream or soap jars, that makes sense because even if it doesn't dry completely, every 1 or 2 days I'll be going back to that. But once you start getting into the hobby and you've got multiple shaved soaps or shaved creams, at least for me personally, I think it's a little bit of a risk letting the water be there because I don't think it completely dries off even if you keep it open and you know let it dry off. And given the amount of money that I've spent on the soap, I don't want to take that risk for me to see that it started to go bad. Again, it may not. I haven't been buying soaps for so long for me to say definitively that it has gone bad. But at the same point of time, because it's my money, I just want to be a little bit careful in terms of making things go bad. So at the end of every shave, I'll wash up my razor, I'll dry it properly, I'll wash up my sink. I'll do all of that because at the end of the day, it's my money. I want to make sure that I'm taking care of my stuff. Anyway, um, that's a lot of rant. Sorry about that. Let me go ahead and, in this particular case, this soap did not cost me too much. I've tried to take it out and lather it in a bowl. It didn't work very well. I think this one cost like $10. So this is one of the very few situations where I will go ahead and bloom the soap, which is put some drops of water on it and then use a damp brush to go ahead and whip up some of the soap into the brush and then lather on my face. But again, it's one of the very rare ones. Most of the rest of the soaps that I have, I don't do that. I take out a little bit with a spoon, put it in a bowl, lather up in the bowl, and then put it on my face and lather on the face as well. So give me just a moment. I'll be back with you guys once I've loaded my soap and we will lather on the face. Thank you. So I think we've loaded enough on the brush. This brush is a timeless brush, the one that they came out with in 2024, where you can open the brush up and you can change different knots. I think it's phenomenal. I know it's not very cheap, but if you can save up and buy this once, you can try multiple knots and see, whether you like a badger, whether you like a synthetic, what is the knot size that you like. It's a good chance, and seeing how well this is built, I think this is going to last you for a long time. Anyway, let's go ahead. Let's start to put the shaving cream on the face, and let's start the lather. So what I do is when I have to face lather, I will generally paint the lather on the face. Once I've done that, I will spray the brush and start to lather. Once I've done that once, I typically take some water in a bowl. I'll just dip the tips and lather again. When you try to lather on the face, that's one of the main things. When you feel that you're done, you're not really done. Go ahead, get some more water. So what helps me is the way that the brush is already splayed. I will dip it in just the tips, and I'll go to town again. Now, Corasso as a brand, and if you've been reading the forums, you'll notice one thing. It tends to dry up quite fast on your face. So, two things. Number one, make sure that there is sufficient water. Number two is if you leave it on the face, don't be surprised if it dries off. And you need to put the product again. Okay? I think we are in a decent place. It's not the thickest of lathers, but I feel it should give us the glide that we're looking for in order to get our shave on. All right. So for the blade that we are going to be using today, it's a 3-time used sharp 7 o'clock blade. So this is actually a two-piece razor. You just open it up from the bottom like this. You take out the top cap. You load the blade like this. You close both of these ends together. And your razor is ready to go. You can look at the blade reveal on both sides and you'll see that the blade reveal is proper. All right. Let's get started with the first pass. So pass number one, shaving with the grain. So with any soap that you use, once you've taken the first pass, see if there's still slickness. That is the residual slickness. That is the critical quality you need to look for in a shaving soap, so that in case you feel that you missed something, you can go back on it and it's not dry. As you can see, the cream has already started drying up. So, like I said, you need to be a little quick, or again, put the cream. So this is where I feel having a pre-shave for this kind of a soap really helps. So we're done with pass number one. Let's wash up and lather up for pass number two. Okay, so we are ready for pass number two. This is going to be across the grain. Funnily enough, my neck seems to have the toughest hair on all my face. So it requires multiple passes, at least four. Let's wash up and get ready for pass number three. Okay, we're ready for pass number three. Now, one of the things you'll notice that it seems that my lather is very thin, which is fine because you can keep in mind having gobs of lather is not what you want. What you need and what you desire is having slickness on your face. So, if that comes with having thick lather, that's perfect, and that is what I generally like. But in this case, even with the thin lather, in case my razor is able to do its work without me getting any nicks and cuts, then it has done its job. So this is where the residual slickness comes into play. These are areas that I would have needed to apply the shaving cream again. But as you can see, because it is slick enough, I was able to finish the shave without having to go ahead and put fresh shaving cream. Sorry guys, I'm a little ill today, so I'm stumbling on my words more than normal. Sorry, my bad. So this area under my nose is a very, very sensitive area for me. This is again where pressure is key. Slide the razor, you can feel it cut, and then as soon as you feel it cut, hold on to that angle and pressure at that point of time. Don't put more pressure. I think I'll have to go over it one more time because I'm not completely happy with how I did here. And with all this yapping, it looks like this area is completely dried off. So let me relather and I'll be back in a second. All right, we're back. So given how mild this razor is, you notice that I needed to what it's called as blade buff. multiple times to get the BBS shape that I'm looking for. So just keep that in mind. If you are somebody who wants a BBS shave every time, this may not be the best razor for you, but if you're looking for a mild shave, this is perfect. Now, I've just got one last section of my neck, which I know always I have to go through it one more time. I'm just going to put some lather there and I'm just going to finish that off. Okay, this last pass for the pickups. So we're done. We're going to wash up and we'll be back with you in just a moment. So we're back. Let's take a look at how we did. Looks like a good shave. Well, the true test of how good or bad the shave was to go over the shave with the alum block. No zings, no feedback. I think I've got extremely slight feedback here because I had to go through this area multiple times. There is no feedback here as well. That means overall as a shave, I would say this was a good 8.5 out of 10. Why 8.5? Because I needed to blade buff multiple times in order to get this area really smooth. So once you've applied your alum block, let it stay for 30 seconds and then just wash it off. So we're back. Just going to pat the face dry. And then, just like I was saying, we will end the shave with the Proraso aftershave balm right here. So you take a little bit of it in your palm. This much should be sufficient. Now, what I like to do generally with all creams is rather than put it in the hands and then put it on the face, I like to dab it a little bit on the face to make sure that I'm applying it evenly. Once I've done that, now that I know I've covered all the places, then I rub it in. That's it. You can just let it be. It'll start drying off in a few minutes, and then you'll have a nice soft skin on your face. Let me wash my hands, let me clean up, and I'll come back with my final thoughts. Okay, so we're back with my final thoughts regarding the 34G or the Merkur 34C. Again, I think who is this razor for? I think this is razor for a couple of type of people. Number one is if you're starting off your journey, this razor costs $45, the chrome version. It's well made, and like I shared, it's been going on since 1931. So it'll work well for you. If you're not looking at a completely BBS, you can get a BBS with this. But just like I showed you, there are going to be some stubborn areas of your face that you'll need to go through it multiple times. But given how nimble this is to handle, I don't think that should be a challenge. So that's one. It is for people who are probably going ahead and starting this entire world of shaving. Second thing is, as a travel razor, I think this is phenomenal. So this is quite small. It's not big. It's not bulky. Obviously, I don't think you can take this and travel in case if you're flying somewhere, because unless you check in the razor in your check-in luggage, you can't. But in case you are, it's a light razor. You can take it with you. It'll get the job done. And just in case, worst come to worst, if you lose it as well, you won't feel that you've lost something of tremendous value. You will be able to replace it in the future. So I think it's a good razor. Um, is this within my top five? I don't think so. I've got multiple razors, but definitely within my top 10. I hope you liked the video. I hope this helped you. If you want to try it out, give it a shot. Again, 34C for $45, 34G for 65. I hope you liked the video. Have a great day.